duration is 3 hours. Then moving on to the instructions and the information, you must always bear in mind that this question paper consists of 5 sections. Then answer all questions that is required. You are supposed to answer all questions. Then, in addition to that, in question 3.1.2, those are your calculations. You must round off your answers to 2 decimal places. Then calculators, obviously, they will be needed, especially for calculating foreign currency. Then the topics consist of short questions. Then we also have map work and tour planning. Then in addition to that, we have foreign exchange. Then tourist attractions, culture and heritage tourism and marketing constitute 50 marks. So that is an important aspect or an important area. So tourism sector, sustainable and responsible tourism, that's another 30. Then domestic, regional and international tourism and customer care, that's another 30 marks, which brings everything to 200 marks. So let's go straight into the questions. So in terms of the short questions, 4 options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. So choose the correct answer and write only the letter A to D next to the question numbers. 1.1.1 up to 1.1.20 in the answer book, for example, 1.1.21D. So the first question reads, fireworks and counterfeit goods are regarded as these are regarded as prohibited goods. So the correct answer there would be prohibited, which is the letter B. So this is our correct answer. Moving straight to 1.1.2. Tourism owners use customer feedback tools to evaluate the of their company. So to evaluate the level of customer satisfaction. To evaluate the level of customer satisfaction, which is represented by the letter D. So our correct answer there will be the letter D. Now moving straight to the next question. But before we do that, let me highlight the letter D as our correct answer here. 1.1.3. Working hours and leave benefits will be included in this document. So this information is contained in a document which is known as the employment contract, which is represented by the letter B. Then 1.1.4, a compulsory vaccination when traveling to a region where the disease is prevalent. So a compulsory vaccination would be the yellow fever vaccination. For example, if you are traveling to Central Africa, if you're traveling to West Africa, you need to be vaccinated against yellow fever. Then 1.1.5, this involves sending payment orders between banks using codes. That method of payment is known as SWIFT. That method of payment is known as SWIFT, which is letter C. 1.1.6, the picture below signifies a courtyard and 6 minarets icon, which is considered as one of the most beautiful mosques in the world. So this the name of this mosque is known as the Blue Mosque. It is known as the Blue Mosque. That is the Blue Mosque, which is located in Istanbul, that is in Turkey. Then 1.1.7, the new South African Heritage Site inscripted on the 26th of July 2024 is known as the Pleistocene Occupation Sites of South Africa. It is known as the Pleistocene Occupation Sites of South Africa. That is the New World Heritage Site. Then 1.1.8, a government policy that includes strategies to redress past imbalances in South Africa is known as the BBEE. That is known as the BBEE. Then 1.1.9, the following is not an example of a political situation. The following is not an example of a political situation. So the letter B is not an example of a political situation. An economic aspect is mainly economic, so it has nothing to do with politics. 1.1.10, the time difference of 3.5 between 2 countries on a time zone map means that actually translates to 3 hours 30 minutes. That is 3 hours, 30 minutes. That is the time difference. 3 hours, 30 minutes. Then moving straight to 1.11, the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity is a symbol of a cinematic excellence and a reflection of the changes in the movie industries over the years, which takes place annually in this particular country. So this takes place annually in France. This is an annual event which takes place in France. Then 1.1.2, this example of a political situation will have a significant impact on international tourism and the economy of the affected country. This example of a political situation. So the political situation here is the civil war. So it has an impact on the tourism and also on economic performance. 1.1.13, tourists that limit their usage of natural resources such as water and electricity when on holiday. When on holiday, that is a typical example of responsible tourism behavior. So it is represented by the letter B. The Pacific Islands nation of Kiribati was the first country to celebrate Wednesday, the 1st of January 2025, with its 133,500 citizens celebrating the new year at midnight, at 12 midnight plus 2 UTC GMT. Calculate what was the time in South Africa then. So what you need to bear in mind is that the time difference between South Africa lies in the +2 time zone. South Africa lies in the +2 time zone. It lies in the +2 time zone. So the time difference in this case would say 12 minus 2. 12 minus 2, it gives us 10 hours. So it simply means that South Africa is behind by 10 hours, which translates that when it was midnight, we need to subtract the 10 hours. When it was midnight that side, we need to subtract them 10 hours. So we need to subtract 10 hours from the time in the Pacific Islands. So what we do is 00 midnight simply means that is 24. So 24 minus 10 hours would give us 1400 hours. So the correct answer in this particular case would be the letter D. It will be 2 o'clock or 2 p.m. It will be 1400 hours the previous day on Tuesday, the 31st on Tuesday, the 31st of December. Then 1.1.5, a South African student has 4,000, which he needs to change to euros. According to the bank selling rate is 21.80. How much will we receive in euros? So we need to divide 4,000. The formula of getting our correct answer then would say 4,000 divided by 21.80. So if you take your calculator, 4,000 divided by 21.8 would give us 183 and 183.49. So our correct answer in this particular case would be the letter C. It will give us 183. That is the correct answer for that one. Then 1.1.6, in a tourism business, a positive image of the staff does not necessarily include wearing a combination of 6 pieces of jewelry. So that is the letter D. It does not include wearing a combination of 6 pieces of jewelry. Then 1.1.7, the following are some of web-based feedback options. So web-based feedback options, the following are like are some of web-based feedback options. So these are basically feedback forms, live chat, and electronic survey. So this is the correct answer will be the letter B then. Then the unit to measure the volume of international tourism is called, that is known as, that is basically, we will be looking at tourist arrivals. You look at the number of tourists who are arriving into a country. Then the average amount spent by an international tourist in 2024 in a duration of a week, while in South Africa, if spending 1,100 per day. So then the average amount here, if you look at the statistics, this is average spent per tourist, average spent for tourists. So in 2024, they're looking for 2024, it will be 7,700, which is represented by the letter B. That is the average expenditure. 1.1.20, the process of getting information from tourists to measure if they are happy or unhappy with a product or service. That is known as customer feedback. That is known as customer feedback. This is known as customer feedback, 1.1.20. Then moving straight ahead, give one word or term for each of the following descriptions by choosing a word or term from the list below. Write only the term next to the question numbers. So this refers to the management of waste generated by the tourist business. So this is called wastewater management. That is known as wastewater management. Wastewater management. That is known as wastewater management. Then 1.2.2, the travel agent uses this tool to compile an itinerary. The travel agent uses this tool to compile an itinerary. When you're compiling an itinerary, obviously you need to know the distance which is involved. So this is called a distance calculator. Distance calculator. Then 1.2.3, 1.2.3, this tourism organization satisfies tourism business that practice sustainable tourism principles. So this is known as FTT, which represents fair trade tourism. So FTT will be the correct answer there. Then an annual sporting event held in KwaZulu-Natal is known as the Comrades Marathon. The Comrades Marathon is an annual event which is held in KZN. So that is the Comrades Marathon. Then moving straight ahead, a state of dissatisfaction, disturbance, and agitation, typically involving public demonstrations or disorder. So that is referred to as unrest. That is referred to as unrest, general unrest. Then 1.3, choose the correct words from those given in brackets. Write only the words next to them. Question numbers. So for this particular question, I will be highlighting the correct answer. So discounted travel can be regarded as a fringe benefit for a person working at a travel agency. So our correct answer there will be discounted travel. It can be regarded as a fringe benefit. Then 1.3.2, solving a customer's complaint is this is known as a communication skill. That is actually a communication skill when you're solving a customer's complaint. Then 1.3.3, the logo or environmental policy forms part of a branding. So our correct answer there will be the what? The logo. Then coughing or tuberculosis is an airborne lung disease spread by an infected person. The correct answer is TB, which is tuberculosis. Then 1.3.5, 1.3.5, it actually reads, market share refers to the proportion, market share refers to the proportion of a market an organization or destination holds in relation to its main competitors. That is our foreign market share. Now, moving on to 1.4. 1.4, basically, this is World Heritage Sites. So the instruction reads, choose the correct statement from column B that matches the image in column A. So we are choosing the matching columns. So if you look at it, the first one, you can see that this is an island. It is an island. So let's look for the description which suits this one. The description. All right. So the correct description for the first one is E. The late 20th century maximum security prison for political prisoners testifies to the way to which democracy and freedom are triumphed over oppression and racism. That is represented by the letter E. So for this one, this is E. So I'm writing the letter. This is represented by the letter E. All right. Now moving to the next one. This area is rich, 1.4.2. The area is a rich diversity, 1.4.2. This should be the letter C. The site contains different ecosystems that support over 6,500 planted animal species. So this is the letter C, which is Mpumalanga Wetland Park. For 1.4.1, that is Robben Island. So this one is Mpumalanga. So this is Mpumalanga. This is the first one is Robben Island. The second one is Mpumalanga. This is Mpumalanga Wetland Park. Mpumalanga Wetland Park, represented by the letter C. Then 1.4.3 reads, if you look at this one, 1.4.3, 1.4.3, that is the emergence of modern human behavior, the Pleistocene occupation sites of South Africa. So that is represented by the letter F. This is represented by the letter F. Then 1.4.4. 1.4.4, if you look at this, these are Sen rock art. So this is associated with the Drakensberg. It is associated with the Maluti Drakensberg Park. So this site consists of Sen rock art of the Drakensberg created over a period of 4,000 years, which is the largest and most concentrated group of rock paintings south of the Sahara. So this is A. This is actually represented by the letter A. Then the next one, 1.4.5. 1.4.5 is associated with the letter D. The site is associated with the culture of formerly nomadic people and the strategies that allowed them to adapt to harsh conditions. So this one will be D, will be the letter D. Now, moving on to the next question. Explain the following, examine the following customer feedback steps provided below and rearrange them in their order of sequence. Write only the question number and the letter and the problems addressed. So the first stage would be to, so I think I just need to number the different stages. So the first stage would be to identify. Stage number one, identify the most common complaints. Then after identifying the most complaint, you start the intervention process. You start the intervention process. As you are starting the intervention process, you need, as you are starting the intervention process, you also need to decide on an action plan. You need to decide on an action plan. After deciding on an action plan, you also study and capture. You study and capture the feedback data to determine the extent. So this one is number 3. Then our number 4 will be this one. Then the last stage will be results of the measurement are used to improve or correct our customer service. So the correct sequence will be E. After E, you move on to C. After C, we have A. After A, we have D. Then the last one will be the letter B. So that is the correct sequence that is required there. Now, moving on to the next question. The next question, it is something to do with time zones. So the first thing which you need to do is to study the time zone map and answer the questions that follow. So on our time zone map, you can see that the city which we are interested in is Kiev, which is located in Ukraine. That is, it has been indicated there. Then we go straight into the question. The G20 members include the world's major economies. The G20 summit includes the world's major economies. It includes the world's major economies. So the G20 members representing 85% of GDP, over 75% of international trade, and about 2/3 of the world population. South Africa will be hosting the event for the first time in the Southern African region. The G20 member summit will also be injecting lots of rands to the South African economy. There is a graph which illustrates the clock changes in Ukraine during the daylight saving time. So they practice daylight saving time on, they practice it on starting from 30 March 2025, 1 hour forward. The Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky will visit South Africa for G20 summit, and which will be held in November from the 16th to the 17th of November in Cape Town. His plane will depart from Kiev International Airport, which is in the +3 time zone, Ukraine to South Africa on Saturday, 14 November at 10 o'clock. The plane will last 11 hours 45 minutes before landing at the Cape Town International Airport, UTC. You call the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, his counter partner in London. Find the time difference between Ukraine and Ukraine, that is Kiev, the city of Kiev. So what we need to do, the time difference. Remember, South Africa is, Ukraine is in the +3. Then South Africa is in the +2 range. So what you simply do is you simply say 3 minus 2. So there is a 1 hour difference. 1 hour difference. The time difference is just an hour, a single hour. Then write the full abbreviation of UTC. The full abbreviation of UTC. So the full abbreviation of UTC is Universal Time Coordinate. That is the full abbreviation. It is known as the Universal Time Coordinate. Now, the second part of the question, or the third part rather of the question, calculate the day and the time the Ukrainian president will land onto South Africa soil for the G2025 summit in Cape Town. So when we are calculating the arrival time, it is important to master this formula. Arrival time is equals to departure, the time which you departed, plus flight duration. That is the formula which we are going to use. So the first thing which we need to determine, what time did the Prime Minister leave what time did the Prime Minister leave his country of origin? So it has been stated that he left on 14 November at 22. He left at 22:00, which is Ukrainian time. But when we adjust this to South African time, he actually, there's a 1 hour difference. So it means, according to South African time, so we subtract minus 1 hour time difference. The time difference between Ukraine and South Africa, minus 1 hour time difference as our first stage. There's an hour difference, which gives us 21. He actually left at 21:00. So that is the departure. Now we need to add plus the duration, flight duration, which we have been given as 11 hours plus 11 hours, 11 hours and how many minutes? And 45 minutes, plus 11 hours plus 11 hours, 45 minutes. So the easiest way of calculating this arrival time is by using your time zone map. You need to use your time zone map, whereby you use this particular circle. So it means he left at 21. So if we count from here, we need to count 11 hours. That will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it gives us 8. It means he arrived at 8. We take them our 8:08. Then we also take the 45 minutes, 08:45. Then to be specific, when it comes to the dates, we crossed midnight. If you go back to this clock of hours, you can notice that we crossed midnight. So it means that he arrived on the next day. He arrived on Saturday, 15 November. So 8:45 or quarter to 9 on Saturday, 15 November. On Saturday, 15 November. That is the arrival time. Now, moving on to the next question. On arrival in Cape Town International Airport, the president calls the Prime Minister of Britain in London while at the airport to let him know about the duration of travel. Calculate the time and the date that the British Prime Minister will receive the call. So on arrival, he arrived at 8:45. So we need to determine the arrival, the time when he made a call. So in London, whilst at the airport, calculate the date and the time that the Prime Minister will receive the call in London. So what you need to do is the time difference between London and South Africa. Remember, London is in the plus. It is on the 0 region, which means that the time difference between South Africa and London is basically 2 hours. It is basically 2 hours. So what we do with our 2 hours is we say 8:45 minus 2 hours will give us minus 2 hours. It will give us 0:645. Then we actually add plus 1 hour daylight saving time, DST. Remember, London is using DST. So plus 1 hour DST, which gives us 0. So the call was made at 07:45 on Saturday. On the same day, you have Saturday, 15 November. The call was made on Saturday, 15 November. So that is the time when the call was made. Now study the following article and answer the questions that follow. So the President's Hotel Bantry Bay in the Western Cape has a historic significance. President Mandela, during his tenure, opened it, and today President Zelensky of Ukraine will use it for his accommodation for the 2 days visit during the G20 summit. Now the question says, advise President Zelensky which 2 precautionary measures he should take while in the hotel during the night. So the precautionary measures is that whilst in the hotel, okay, you must keep doors closed at all times to avoid intruders. Must keep doors closed at all times to avoid intruders. Then you must not leave his luggage unattended. Never leave luggage unattended. Then in addition to that, you must lock up all valuables in a safe. All valuables in a safe. All right, so these are the precautionary measures which he is supposed to take. Now let's look at 2.2. On their departure back home at the Cape Town International Airport, President Zelensky proceeded to passport control. Thereafter, he collected his luggage and went through customs. In his luggage, he had the following South African items as souvenirs for him and his spouse at home. So the first one is he had Edu toilet. Then he also had 1 times 750 of wine. Then determine the customs President Zelensky had to proceed on arrival at Cape Town International Airport. So upon arrival at Cape Town International Airport, he was supposed to follow the green channel, because if you look at these items, these are actually considered to be duty-free goods. So green channel. You are supposed to follow the green channel. That is the first question. Then give one reason for your answer. All right. He had nothing to declare. He had nothing to declare. To declare. He had nothing to declare at all. He had nothing to declare. Then in addition to that, you can also indicate that he had duty-free goods. He had duty-free goods. 750 mils is allowed. 100 mils of e-detalate is allowed. He had duty-free goods. Then name the government department responsible for controlling and declaring items brought into the country. So this is the responsibility of South African. That is the responsibility of SARS. But recently, the Border Management Authority, which is known as BMA, is also involved. So SARS and BMA, they work together with the Border Management Authority. Then explain the term prohibited goods. Prohibited goods. These are goods. So this is SARS, sorry. SARS falls under the Customs Department, just to add customs. SARS under the Customs Department. Then explain the term prohibited goods. So when you're talking about prohibited goods, these are items that are illegal to import or to export. So these are items which are illegal to bring into the country, such as explosives and other things. Then these goods cannot be carried by passengers. These goods cannot be carried these are goods which cannot be carried by travelers into or out of the country. Into or out of the country. This includes explosives, narcotics, and other things as well, the country. So these are goods which cannot be carried by ordinary travelers into or out of the country. So those are considered to be prohibited goods. Study the following article and answer the questions that follow. BMA uses drones to curb crime at borders. The BMA says drones and other technologies are being used to curb crimes at borders, including Libombo and Beitbridge. The BMA will be temporarily making use of drones to monitor vulnerable areas during the festive season. The Border Management Authority aims to improve border security and streamline border management processes. Among the critical functions of BMA are access control, environmental biosecurity, protection of human health, agricultural biosecurity. Guards have also been fitted with body cameras as they patrol the border with soldiers. Minister Leon Scribert visited Libombo border post to unveil the use of new technology. Drones aim to curb illegal crossings while providing real-time intelligence to authorities, ensuring swift actions against violations. The Minister of Department of Home Affairs now they have eyes in the sky to monitor every spot. This is the government entity. This is the government entity responsible for border management is exercised by multiple organs of state and the process of securing the borders of the Republic and protecting national interest. Identify the new entity working with the South African borders and responsible for safety purposes. So this is simply BMA. It has been stated BMA, Border Management Authority, also accepted as an answer. Then 2.3.2 name two security measures used by BMA to safeguard an lawful entrance and to curb crimes to South Africa's borders and immigrants. So there are two things here. The usage of body cameras, that is the first one. Body cameras will be the first one. The use of body cameras, that is the first thing. The use of body cameras. So I'm going to write it straight here. Use of body cameras and drones, which are used for surveillance. Then list two main functions of the BMA to monitor access control, to monitor the people who are getting into the country and out of the country. Then in addition to that, to check, to protect human health, In addition to that, they also promote agricultural biosecurity. They also aim to protect agricultural biosecurity. That is another function. So those are the answers for that particular question. Now let's go straight to 3.1. Study the remise travel experience exchange rate table and the information in the scenario and answer the questions that follow. So we do have various currencies there. We do have the British pound, which is represented by this symbol. Then it's being bought at 22.90 and it's being sold at 23.55. The US dollar is trading at 20 rand 80 and it's being sold at 21 rand 80. Then the euro is being bought for 1960 and sold for 2090. Then we have Mr. John Davis, a British business tourist, is familiar with exchange rates in Rennie's travel experience foreign exchange in South Africa. He went to one of the South African branches in Riverside Mall, Nelspruit, to exchange 140 pounds before he continues his tour in Mpumalanga. So the first thing they are asking for the exchange rate. So that is the exchange rate is the value. That is the value of one's currency in relation to another currency. The value of one's currency in relation to another currency. That is, yes, that is the exchange rate. So Mr. John Davis, a British business tourist, decides to exchange 140 pounds to South African rands. Calculate the total amount he will receive. So when you are moving from Forex, the formula from Forex to rands, you multiply by B, you multiply by bank buying rate. So which is known as the what? BBR. So what we are saying is we say 140 multiplied by the bank buying rate, which is 22 rand 90. Multiplied by 22 rand 90, which gives us 3,206. So this is our final answer. So what you need to master is that you need to master the formula from Forex to rands, you multiply by the BBR. So that's how you calculate this one. Now let's go to the next question. Having spent 600 of the amount he received in 3.1.2, the tourist proceeded to the USA and converted rands to US dollars. Calculate the total amount of dollars he received by the tourist. So what we need to establish is the formula here. So we are moving from rand to Forex. Our formula from rand to Forex, you divide by bank selling rate. You divide by bank selling rate. So therefore, what we are doing is that you divide by bank selling rate. So they are saying that he spent 600 of the amount he received in 3.1.2. So we are saying 3,206 minus 600. That is the first point. So if you take out your calculator, 3,206 minus 600 will give you 2,000 and it will actually give you 2,006 is equals to 2,606. Yes. So this 2,000, we divide it by our BSR. If we go back here, the BSR for the US dollar is 21.80. So we say divided by 21.80, which gives us, so 2,606 divided by 21, it gives us 119.54. So in terms of dollars, this is 119, then we have 54 cents. So that is how you do the calculation. So just bear in mind that you must master the formulas. From Forex to Rands, multiply by BBL. From Rands to Forex, divide by BSR. That is what you need to master. Now determine which of the currencies mentioned in 3.1.2 and 3.1.3 is stronger when compared to the South African rand. So obviously, if you look at this now, we will see that the British pound carries more weight simply because it's expensive. It's much more expensive. When you're buying a British pound, you have to pay 22 rands. Then when you're buying the dollar, it's 20 rands, 90. So the British pound is the stronger currency. The British pound is stronger. The British pound is stronger. So the British pound is stronger. Why? You need 22 rand 90, which is more money, to buy it. So you need more money to buy a pound. So that's why we are saying that it is stronger in terms of value. Now, moving on straight to the next question. Study the icons in pictures in Article A, exploring Eurasian icons below, and answer the questions that follow. So we have Article R1, exploring Eurasian icons. So random icon descriptions. So the dome was originally made of gold, but it was replaced with an aluminum dome covered with gold leaf. During its lifetime, the temple served as a treasury, fortress, and church and mosque. Annual events such as the Cannes Film Festival and Formula One in Monaco attract big crowds. Then tower was intended to be dismantled in 1801. So identify icons A, labeled A and D. So this is straightforward. This is known as the Eiffel Tower, located in Paris. So this is the Eiffel Tower. Then this one, the Dome of the Rock. The Dome of the Rock. Then the next one is known as the Parthenon. Then this is known as the French Riviera. So those are the 4 icons which appear there. Then name the city and the continent where icon D is found. Name the city and continent. So in terms of the city, this is basically Monaco. Then continent, that is Europe. Remember, this is France. That is Europe. Then 4.1.3, explain 2 features which were used for this icon B and C, respectively. So if you look at B and C, both of them, these are religious these are religious icons or icons of religious significance. So what we are saying is that the Dome of the Rock, so this is, if you start with the Dome of the Rock, the Dome of the Rock is an Islamic shrine. The Dome of the Rock is a sacred Islamic shrine. It is a sacred Islamic shrine where it is believed that Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven from? Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven from. So that is the first thing. Then in addition to that, others believe that that is that is the foundation stone where when God created the earth, that is the foundation stone of the world. Then also other Jews believe that it is the place where Abraham prepared to sacrifice his son Isaac, and it was where the Temple of Solomon was built in 950 BC. So that is the Dome of the Rock. Then in addition to that, we also need to look at icon C, the Parthenon. The Parthenon. The Parthenon. The Parthenon. The Parthenon is the remains of an ancient temple. These are the remains of an ancient temple built for the Greek goddess Athena. Built for the Greek goddess Athena. It was built for the Greek goddess Athena. So then temples served as a treasury, fortress, church, and mosque. Then in 1687, there was a huge explosion that caused in a battle severely damaged the Parthenon. So that's why it appears the way it appears today. Now, let's go study the descriptions in Article 2, random icon descriptions, and link them with the correct alphabet shown by the articles. Okay, so we need the correct order. So A, start with A. That is, it was a tower that was intended to be this. So this is A. Basically, this is A. I'll be writing the answer next to this is A. This description matches A. Then the next one, B, the Dome of the Rock. This is the Dome of the Rock. The dome was originally made of gold, but has been replaced with an aluminum dome covered with gold leaf. Then C, this is C. During its lifetime, the temple served as a treasury, fortress, and a church and a mosque. This is C. Then the next one, annual events. So this is C. Then the next one, annual events take place. This is D. So the correct order is B, C, A, D. That is the correct order there. Now, moving straight to the next question. Study the icon below and answer the questions that follow. The importance of Petra. So Petra is an ancient city located in modern-day Jordan and was once a bustling trade hub. It holds significant historical and cultural importance due to its remarkable architecture, advanced water management system, and its role as a trade center and commerce in the ancient world. Petra earned the nickname the Lost City because after the decline of the Nabatean civilization, it was abandoned and largely forgotten by the Western world for centuries. It is not until the early 19th century that the Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Beckert rediscovered the site, leading to the renewed interest and recognition of its historical importance. Tourist profile, cultural tourists interested in ancient civilization, tourists wanting to visit one of the 7 wonders of the world. The number of visitors in Petra 2020 are 3. The Chief Commissioner Suleiman Farajat of BDTRA stated this, that this upward trajectory in visitor numbers could potentially result in a new record with an estimated 1.5 million visitors expected to by the close of the year. Amongst these visitors, 119,128 were foreigners, 4,902 were Jordanian nationals. then 13,982 held from other Arab countries. Facts about Petra. Petra is known as the Rose City due to its pink hue on sandstone cliffs from which it was carved. Only a small percentage of Petra is being uncovered by archaeologists, with much of the city still buried underground. The main entrance to the Petra is through a narrow canyon known as the Sick, which creates a dramatic or inspiring approach to the city. Provide the total number of visitors who visited Petra all in all. All right, so the total number of visitors, that is the total number of visitors, that is 1,000. If you add this, if you calculate, if you add these ones, you'd get if you add them, it would be 1,000. Sorry, 138,022. So it's basically addition, basic addition. So name two types of tourists who visited the city. So we have cultural tourists, cultural tourists, then tourists interested in history, in ancient history. So you can call them special interest tourists. Then explain why Petra is named a lost city. It is known as a lost city because it was abandoned and forgotten by the it was abandoned and forgotten by the outside world. It was abandoned and forgotten by the outside world for more than 1,000 years. For more than 1,000 years. It was abandoned and forgotten for more than 1,000 years. Then 4.2.3, 4.2.4 rather. Reads, provide, suggest one reason why Petra is an icon. So Petra, it is known as an icon. It's actually an icon simply because it is a city carved from solid rock, a city which was sculptured from solid rock. That makes it very, very special and exceptional. That is the first thing. It is a city which was carved from rock. So it is an ancient city again. An ancient city. Probably built around 100 BC, 100 years before Christ. That's way old. So it is an ancient city. That is what makes it also special. Then provide one factor that contributes to long queues of visitors at Petra. So why are there long queues? The reason why there are long queues, it's simply because Petra is one of the most visited places. One of the most visited places. That is one reason. Then it has a narrow entrance, which allows few people at a time. So it has a narrow entrance, which allows people at a time. So capacity restrictions at the pit lead to long queues, especially during peak tourist seasons, due to the limited number of visitors allowed. Then Petra security checks can lead to longer waiting times as visitors undergo thorough security screening as well. So that also contributes to congestion or to long queues. Now, 4.2.6 reads, Petra is is a potential future global tourist attraction of Jordan. Give one characteristic of a successful icon. So 4.2.6, there are several characteristics there, but you can also single the fact that there are repeat visits. People repeat visits. That is one. Then in addition to that, the income generated exceeds income generated exceeds target figures. The income generated exceeds target figures. Then also it has a positive impact on the local community. It has a positive impact on local community. It has a positive impact on the local community as well. So that's why we are saying it is a successful attraction. Okay. So the next question reads, read the article below and answer the questions that follow. UNESCO proclaims new World Heritage Sites in Western Cape and KZN. On Friday, 26 July 2024, the 46th session of the UNESCO World Heritage Committee proclaimed World Heritage status to 3 sites in the Western Cape and KwaZulu-Natal as part of South African nomination, the emergence of modern human behavior. The Pleistocene occupation sites of South Africa. The successful inscription of these 3 Middle Stone Age sites is a recognition of our significant contribution to understanding the origins of modern human behavior. The 3 sites are Deep Kloof Rock Shelter close to Elands Bay in the Western Cape, Pinnacle Point Site Complex in Mossel Bay, and the Western Cape Shibudu Cave in Kwadukuza in KwaZulu-Natal. Premier Alan Wint added, achieving this World Heritage Site status is a monumental recognition of our province's exceptional cultural and historical significance on the world stage. In addition to our existing 2 World Heritage Sites, this inscription will promote sustainable tourism, economic development, job creation for many residents of the Western Cape. Name the organization that is responsible for proclaiming our World Heritage Sites. That is the responsibility of the United Nations Educational Scientific Cultural Organization, which is abbreviated as UNESCO. UNESCO has that responsibility. Then identify the 3 World Heritage Sites from this side. So we have Deep Kloof Rock Shelter. We have Deep Kloof Rock Shelter. Then in addition to that, we have Pinnacle Point Site Complex. Pinnacle Point Site Complex. Then in addition to that, we have Shibudu Caves. Cave. So the next question reads, explain the main role of UNESCO. UNESCO contributes to peace. It contributes to peace and security. UNESCO contributes to peace and security by promoting international collaboration in areas of science and culture. Collaboration in science and culture. in science and culture. Promotes international collaboration in science and culture. Then 5.1.5, mention two other world. Okay, before we do that one, from the article suggests 3 ways on how these new heritage sites can promote Western Cape, will promote the Western Cape province. All right, 5.1.4. All right, so the first thing is that this will result in increased visitor numbers. It results in an influx of tourists. This will create jobs, job and business opportunities. This will create jobs and business opportunities. Infrastructure will also develop. Infrastructure development. Infrastructure development will also be realized. Infrastructure will be realized as well. Realized. Then in addition to that, the multiplier effect, where money generated in tourism flows into other sectors of the economy. Then multiplier effect will be set in motion. In motion. The multiplier effect will be set in motion. Okay, it also, which then it results in an increase in the country's GDP. GDP. There will be an increase in the country's GDP, gross domestic product. Then 5.1.5, mention two other World Heritage sites found in the Western Cape. Two other World Heritage sites. So we do have the Cape Floral region. That's 5.1.5. We have the Cape Floral region in protected areas. The Cape Floral region and protected areas. That is the Cape Floral region in protected areas. That is the first one. Then in addition to that, we also have the Robben Island. Those are all World Heritage sites in the Western Cape. Now, let's go straight to question 6, which has something to do with marketing. Study the information below and answer the questions that follow. South Africa's involvement at the International Travel Bourse, the world's leading travel show, which took place from the 4th of March to the 6th of March, that is in 2025. Event ITB, Berlin 2025, location Messi, Berlin, Berlin Expo Center City, start 4 March and 6 March. South Africa Tourism has a stand at the ITB. 50 tourism companies from South Africa exhibit at the tourism stand. Exhibition space at the ITB is expensive. South Africa will exhibit once again at the next ITB. Would exhibit at the ITB. Name the type of tourism event that takes place at the ITB Berlin. So that is basically a travel, trade, exhibition. That is a travel, trade, exhibition, or you can say it's a marketing event for, that is a marketing event. That is a marketing event. That is the first thing. Then state one role that SA Tourism plays at ITB. So, state the role. All right. SA Tourism is responsible for marketing South Africa internationally. That is the first responsibility. It is responsible for marketing South Africa internationally. That is the first responsibility. They are responsible for marketing South Africa internationally. So they coordinate the marketing effort of various role players in the tourism industry. Then SA Tourism also markets the South African tourism products as a value for money destination. Then they also showcase the various tourism products and services available in South Africa. Then they also engage in networking and investment opportunities for tourism professionals at an international platform. That is the responsibility of SA Tourism. So explain two ways in which South Africa is advantaged by SA Tourism activities at the ITB. So South Africa enjoys the following advantages there. So there is, we do have increased inbound tourism. There's an increase in inbound tourism. Then there is also showcasing. It's also showcasing South Africa as a value for money destination. There is also the showcasing of South Africa as a value for money destination. Then there are also networking opportunities with various players. There are also networking opportunities with various players, with various stakeholders. There are networking opportunities with various stakeholders in the tourism industry. So there are such opportunities as well. Then state one way in which TOMSA collects money from tourism businesses to fund South Africa's marketing activities. So this is done through the collection of the 1% levy, tourism businesses add a voluntary 1% tourism levy to tourist bills, which is then paid over to TOMSA, tourism marketing. So that is, they collect 1% levy from tourists. So that's how they fund the marketing activities. Now, moving straight to Section D. Section D, tourism sectors and sustainable and responsible tourism. Then study the information below and answer the questions that follow. So we have Rosebank hotel staff presenting a professional image is very important in the tourism industry. Discuss two factors that contribute to the professional image of the Rosebank hotel staff in the picture above. So the first thing we have, you can see that they are neatly dressed. So there is personal hygiene, and grooming. You can see that these people are looking very smart. Well dressed, no facial hair, nicely presentable hairstyles. So that is the first one. Then you can also talk about uniforms and dress code. and dress code also says a lot. The uniforms which they are putting on and their dress code also says a lot. Then moving on to the next one, 7.2, study picture A and B and answer the questions that follow. So we do have picture A, contract. Then we also have someone who is signing the contract there. So contract refers, define the term contract. A contract is a legal document. This is a legal document signed as an agreement between two parties. So these two parties, the employer and employee, and employee. We can say the employer and the worker. It is a legally binding document which is signed between two parties, employer and employee. Then state who should sign a contract at the workplace, refer to picture B. Who should sign a contract at the workplace, refer to picture B. So, at the workplace, an employee who has been appointed, anyone offered a job, or anyone who has accepted a job offer, anyone who has accepted a job offer. Then state two aspects that should be included in the contract of employment. So basically two aspects: working hours, job description, address of employee and employer, leave policy, fringe benefits, in addition to that, travel benefits, all right, so these are all aspects which should be included in the contract of employment. Then 7.2.4, suggest two important reasons of discussing the contract before being signed by the employee at the workplace. All right, the signature binds both the employee and employer. So it's the contract should be discussed. It should be discussed because it will reduce work-related disputes. Disputes between the two parties. It reduces conflict between the two parties. In addition to that, it protects, the contract protects both the employer and employee. And employee. That is how a contract works. And the employee, that's how it works. Now, moving on to question 8. Elangeni Solar Company is a prime or a good example of how to practice ecotourism principles. In a paragraph, evaluate whether Elangeni Solar Company applies the triple bottom line approach. Your okay. So the three pillars of sustainable and responsible tourism are the three pillars. So on the three pillars, basically, we do have the social pillar, which is also known as the people. That is the social pillar. The social pillar is also known as the people. So this is done through the following way: job creation. In addition to job creation, upliftment of local community. Upliftment of local community. That is how it is done. Then non-profit supporting charity organizations. That's how it's done. Then we move on to the environmental pillar, which is also known as the planet. Environmental pillar, which is also known as the planet. So for this one, the use of solar energy reduces the carbon footprint. The use of solar energy reduces carbon footprint. Then in addition to that, yes, so basically the use of solar energy. Then the economic pillar, okay, job creation. Then employing local people. Then reduction of electricity costs. Reduction of electricity costs. So all these those are the three pillars. Now moving straight to question number 9. Domestic, regional, and international tourism, communication and customer care. China earthquakes caused death as tremors hit Tibet. At least 53 people have been confirmed dead and 62 are injured after a major earthquake struck the mountainous Tibet region on Tuesday morning, 7 January 2025. Chinese state media reported the earthquake that hit Tibet's Holy Shigatse city around 0 local time. It had a magnitude of 7.1 and a depth of 10 kilometers, 6 miles, according to the data from the US Geological Survey, which also shows a series of aftershocks in the area. Tremors were also felt in the neighboring parts of Nepal and India. Earthquakes are common in the region, which lies in a major geological fault line. So classify the above unforeseen occurrence. That's a natural disaster. It was not caused by anyone, but that's a natural disaster. Natural disaster, that is the first thing. That is is considered to be a natural disaster, which you can also write, it's called an earthquake. Then two negative influences, the increase of active earthquake would cause to the existing and potential tourism industry. So the first thing is that tourists will cancel their trips due to safety concerns. They will cancel their trips due to safety concerns. Then in addition to that, they would tourist businesses will face tourist businesses would lose income. They would lose income. In addition to that, tourists or tourism jobs will be lost. Tourism businesses can permanently close. Will permanently tourism businesses will permanently close. That is another fact which might happen there. All right, now 9.2, study the information below on methods of payment and answer the questions. So we have these look like these are cards. Visa, MasterCard, Diners Club, and the American card payment networks. They facilitate payments between banks and the merchants on credit card purchases. Then card networks also determine where the cards will be accepted. The most accepted credit cards are from the main commercial banks operating in South Africa. So the first question reads, name the method of payment shown in the picture. So basically, these are credit cards. These are credit cards, or you can call them the Visa cards. All right, briefly explain what is a credit card. A credit card allows you to to access pre-approved credit offered by the bank. It allows you to access pre-approved credit, which is offered by the bank. In other words, it allows you to spend money which the bank has lended you, money which you have been given by the bank, which you would later pay back. Some advantages of a credit card: no need to carry cash around. So there's no need to carry cash around. All right. Credit cards are widely accepted. Are widely accepted. So also generally a safer method of payment instead of carrying cash around. There is a safer method of payment. Instead of carrying lots of cash, you can simply transact using a credit card. So no need to carry cash around. Credit cards are widely accepted. Then moving on to 9.3. All right, study the following graph below and answer the questions that follow. Top tourist arrivals in South Africa in the year 2023 and 2024. So number of tourists, we do have yes, the two different years. So identify the main top African markets that visited South Africa in 2024. So if you look at these two graphs, you can see that it is Zimbabwe and Mozambique. It is Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Those are the top two travel markets there. Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Those are the two markets. Differentiate between the following concepts: African land markets and African air markets. So when we are looking at land markets refer to visitors coming into the country through land borders, These are people who are coming into the country through land borders. All right, e.g., the examples of e.g., Bait Bridge, that is for Zimbabwe, and Libombo for Mozambique, Libombo border post. So those are considered to be land markets. Then in addition to that, we need to look at least two countries with the least tourist arrivals in South Africa. So basically you can see that that is basically Angola and Tanzania. So the countries with the least, it's Angola and Tanzania. They have fewer visitors, Angola and Tanzania. That is 9.3.3. Then moving on to question 10. Study the feedback image below and answer the questions that follow. So basically, customers are important recipients in the tourism industry, and it's important for business to receive feedback from its customers. Suggest one reason why it is important to receive feedback from customers in the tourism industry. So feedback allows you to know okay, it allows you to know where most problems emanate from. It allows you to identify the problematic areas. So it allows you to know most emanate from, where most problems are coming from in a business environment or in a particular business. Then to know the products which customers need most. So feedback is actually good. You get to know the products which customers need most. In addition to that, it's also customers can actually suggest new ideas or better ways of doing things. Can suggest new ideas. In addition to that, customers can suggest new ideas. Then the owner of the business will get an opportunity to know where problems exist, and it also gives him an opportunity to improve service delivery. So that is why feedback is important. Now, the next question reads, list two ways of obtaining customer feedback from our clients. So this can be done through several methods. Questionnaires, the use of questionnaires, which can be completed by customers. Then we also have feedback cards. Then in addition to that, we have web-based responses. Then we also have surveys. We also have follow-up calls. Surveys and follow-up calls. Then we also have SMSs. We also have social media. So all these are methods of obtaining customer feedback. Now, 10.4, study the guest survey and answer the questions that follow. Restaurants comment card, thank you for choosing us to have your food. Please take 5 minutes to fill this comment card. It helps us to improve and serve people, serve better as per your test. Please select the appropriate options below. Quality food, excellent. Cleanliness, excellent. Friendliness, average of staff. Speed of service, average. Appearance of staff, good. Any other suggestions? So basically, yes, that's a survey. Refer to the ratings as listed above. The ratings for the quality of food and cleanliness of the restaurant are very high. There is lack of friendliness and speed of service. Will the customers return to the restaurant? Motivate your answers. All right, so you can say yes, they will return. Yes, customers may return. Turn because of the good quality of food. So that is a positive. They may return because of the good quality of food and cleanliness. They may return because of good quality of food and cleanliness. Then you can also say that no, they won't return, not return because of they will not return because of lack of friendliness of staff. They might not return because of lack of friendliness of staff, of members of staff. Then customers value efficiency. Value efficiency. Customers put efficiency first. Some they might not return. So basically, this brings us to the end of this discussion. So hope to see you in other discussions and wish you the best of luck in your examination. So try to do your best. You answer all questions. Then when it comes to calculations, you must show working. Then you must always make sure that your answers are written correct to 2 decimal places. Thank you very much. See you next time. Hello, Great Cove. Welcome to the tourism examination preparation session. So the first thing which we need to remind one another is that the tourism paper consists